First things first, we get our warranty cards, instruction manuals, limited warranty, 1 year. Bought it with a Visa though, so that doubles it. And then your online registration, and English and French instruction manuals, because we are in Canada. First thing you see in the box is the Sony strap, if you care about repping a brand and trying to insist to people that despite you having a really tiny camera that you're actually still a professional. Next thing, it's gonna be the main body of the camera. Comes in this lovely little wax paper case. There it is. Just toss that aside. Okay, so you can see this looks pretty similar to the other Sony cameras that we've gotten used to. It's actually an identical body to the A9 and the A7iii. The main difference here is that they have a bigger, thicker battery grip, which A, makes the camera a little bit more comfortable to hold in your hand, and B, allows room for a larger battery. And the larger battery combined with the slightly lower resolution electronic viewfinder in the A7iii compared to the A9 and the A7iii means that this gets the best battery life out of any Sony camera yet released. So this is the best in the A7 line for battery life. Another thing that was added here that wasn't in the previous generation of the A7 is the joystick, sometimes affectionately called the nipple, that lets you navigate the menus and change your focus points and that sort of thing. Probably a little bit less useful than it might have been previously because we have a touch screen now, so you can use the touch screen to assign your focus points and that sort of thing. Apart from that, you've got your usual litany of custom function buttons. So we've got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 various points around the camera. And then jumping into your quick settings is through here, and your typical roll wheel. Front of the camera, pretty clean. This gives you basically the body number. You've got the roll wheel here for adjusting your shutter speed, and then your lens release button. So you've got your normal arrangement of custom buttons. I believe they've added 1 since the previous generation, but I could be wrong there. So we've got C1, C2, C3, and C4. These are great. You can assign them to do whatever you want, whether it's jumping to a certain part of the menu, adjusting a certain thing like your ISO or your shutter speed if you wanted to assign it to that, or as what I'm probably going to do, assign one of them to eye autofocus so that I can quickly jump back and forth between eye autofocus mode and zone autofocus mode. Moving to the top of the camera, we have the dummy hot shoe here. So you can just pop that out. It's a really simple plug there. So my understanding is that some Canon flashes will still be able to be triggered through this. Obviously, you're not going to get TTL. But if you just have dumb triggers or manual control triggers and you need to trigger them, my understanding is that you can use them with this. Don't quote me on that, but it might be worth looking into a little bit more. And then you've got your mode control dial, which is kind of nice that it doesn't have a locking button. I prefer not having the button on the top. And then the exposure compensation, which I'm probably never going to make use of. And then front of the camera, you've got your lens release button, your rolling switch on the front, which I think is by default set to shutter speed, and then your on-off switch and your shutter switch. Bottom, you've got your typical 1/4-20 mount for a tripod plate, and then access to your battery control panel, which is not a spring lock, it's just a switch. So if you don't hit that switch, it's just gonna pop open each time. So make sure that you get that back in there. Okay, let's pop the battery in. Sony Play Memories, that's the app, which I've used before for a different camera. It lets you download your images and view them on your phone, which is actually pretty handy. But we get a sense of Sony's Byzantine menu system. So I know I'm probably gonna spend the next several days watching a lot of YouTube instructional videos on how to navigate this menu and get it to do what I want. As I look at the screen, you can change your display mode to see what you're showing here. So you can have it fairly empty. You would have a histogram here if we had a lens attached. And then this is your level, which again, doesn't really do much right now. Well, I guess it does. And then back into full menu mode, basically. That's pretty much it.